Hello and welcome. It is January 16th, 1942, in our continuing struggle against the Empire of Japan in this War in the Pacific Admirals Edition Focus Pacific mod game versus Mevennos. That is a mouthful. We start out the turn with a submarine attack near Ceylon, it looks like. Another German U-boat, or the same one, goes after one of my unescorted merchant ships and thankfully misses. Way up here, I may need to increase my ASW efforts a little bit further north. Right now, there's kind of around here. Have sweeps going in at Port Moresby. This hasn't happened for a few turns, so sweeps are back here. Let's see how we do in fending them off. And it looks like we do okay. We lose one of these French twin-engined fighters. The French heavy fighters were a concept. Germans used them too, but not something used by many other countries. In any case, we down 2 zeros for the loss of one plane, so not a very effective sweep. We'll see how the second one does. And that one doesn't do much either, so fending those off nicely, which is good to see. And we're into the bombing of the Philippines. Now that he's reduced my forts, these bombings, keeping my airfields damaged, actually become more important. Bombing, going into Singapore, again, I have this very well escorted because I have a task force offloading supplies into Singapore, about another 40,000 into the Hex. But it looks like he's long-range capping. Notice how the see how that escort keeps changing its numbers. That's because there's long-range cap that's coming into the Hex. Still, my fighters here, they make contact with the bombers. Don't down a lot of them, but it doesn't look like they're going to do a lot of damage either. By the time we're done with the combat, I've lost nothing, and he has 3 bombers down. I'll take it. We're bombing on Cyan. Cyan's getting a little bit scary right now. We've got a large group here coming down this way. I have a very small blocking force across this river, and he has a very large force right here coming north. And they're going to converge on Cyan, probably a combined AV of about 5,000 at the same time, and I don't know if I can hold that. So we'll see. Chowan takes its daily bombing. Well, air action after over Changsha here with Oscar sweeps, and we have more bombing at Singapore, and we're going to take out some more bombers. 5 bombers destroyed. Really should have swept Singapore once he saw my cap there, but I'm not going to give him that advice. I have some bombers here trying to hit these ground units at Nanning. Unfortunately, I don't have escorts that fly with them. And the loss of 2 planes for only 2 squads disabled is definitely not worth it. Here my escorts come in, allowing my bombers to hit the target, but they don't do any damage. Very minor damage here. Part of that is that because, and finally my sweeps come in that were supposed to clear those escorts out, or that cap out, but it's rough terrain, which is why I'm not having much luck. Lightning's going. He has increased this cap every turn trying to deal with these lightning sweeps. We'll see what happens here. I'm taking some lightning losses. I'm going to have to rest these lightnings. They're starting to get beat up pretty badly. And these are 2 valuable airframes with honestly 2 valuable pilots to risk in this way. My bombing goes in on Samarinda. What I'm doing here is trying to weaken this assaulting force a little bit, disrupt it a little bit more, so that it can't take the Hex. Sweeps over Miri are ineffective. Largest bombing raid I've done, I think, so far this war goes in above it's Pisanulok. I don't know how to say it, but does okay disruptions to some squads there. Followed up with 50 more planes. I think I need to go back after the airfield. I'm not doing a whole lot of damage to his ground forces here. Yeah, not really much success there, but good success at Samarinda. 71 casualties is a decent result. Now these Oscar sweeps come in to Singapore. Looks like I'm taking some losses with my Hawks and my Marines. Yeah, these Oscars, they lose one, but down 2 of my planes. Like I said, it'll be a couple more turns while that TF unloads. Once it's gone, the squadrons will pull back from that cap roll, and we'll pull back to Palembang to safety. Some of those fighter pools are very low, so if I don't have to use them at Singapore, I'm not going to. More lightning sweeps. Let's see if they have a little bit more luck. Looks like they are. Looks like these are doing a little bit better than the previous group did. Yeah, still lose a lightning, which I don't like to see, but they down 3 aircraft, so good job, Lightning Squadron. We're into the PM air phase already, which is good. Some of these turns have been a little bit long. And we're just going to speed through this bombing of the Philippines. It'll be interesting to see how long I hold there. I had high hopes for how long I was gonna hold there, but he did bring more AV than expected. So good on him for seeing that he would need a little bit of larger force to do that damage. And they have a very large force here. What is this? 2,500, 3,000 AUV south of Siam. This is the force I was pointing out before. And my Chinese corps just can't deal with this. I'm surprised that they didn't get pushed out of the hex, but I do take some very large losses here. He only takes 3 destroyed. I have 80 squads destroyed, 101 disabled. Not what I like to see, but I guess I stall him for another turn. Shock attack across the river here. River squad crossings are never easy, but he has opened up this hex side. He loses 8 squads. I lose 1, 18 disabled on my end. So a decent result for me, but once he brings the rest of this AV over to this side, it'll be all over for me. Jumping shock attack. This will take the hex. Yep, look at that. My forces getting destroyed there. Yep, all of them destroyed. Lots of squads there. That's okay. We knew it was going to happen. And I have cadres of those forces that I evacuated to Darwin here to help rebuild them and reconstitute them with Dutch squads at Darwin. So it'll be a few months before, actually a lot of months before they're back up to fighting strength, but they're not gone. A deliberate attack here at Nanning. I have Forts 3 here, which isn't great. He's brought about, what, 1,200 AV? No, 800 AV. And my... It says fort level 2, but I could have sworn that I had Forts 3 here. Maybe he lowered it in a previous attack. But it goes well for me. 1 to 4 odds, and when he starts out with 800 AV, I start out with 250. I'll take this result any day. Guam. Such a sticking point for him. I'm continuing to lose more combat squads than he is, so I keep weakening. You know, I don't blame him. I think I would have attacked at 216 AP as well. And I'm not exactly sure why he got such a bad result with that. I think if he had shock attacked, actually, with that, he probably would have gotten 1-to-1 odds or even better. Japanese bombardment. One of my least favorite things is long bombardment attacks. I've played some games with the Soviets active, and you have bombardment attacks where you have the bulk of Japanese artillery against the bulk of Soviet Union's artillery, and those bombardment attacks, the replays can last like 5 minutes, and it's just excruciating. Really no change here. Deliberate attack at Samarinda. This is where I was bombing to try to disrupt his forces a little bit. He gets 1-to-2 odds. I take casualties as well, but 22 combat squads disabled compared to 6 combat squads disabled on my end. I think I got the better end of the deal there. I bombard back. Don't really do anything. And that looks like the turn. A little bit shorter one today. That's fine. They don't need to all be marathons. But thanks so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you in the Discord. Take care.